The time to prepare is now. If you wait until May, maybe too late.
The latest fiasco, courtesy of Joe Biden, is his decision to rescind a Trump-era policy known as Title 42 on May 23rd.
We've been following the science. That's what this is about.
This is such an absurd decision, such an unforced gap.
Title 42 was resurrected by the Trump administration at the beginning of the COVID pandemic. It's a health measure that dates back to World War II, giving the Surgeon General, and later the CDC, the authority to stop migrants from entering the country over fears of spreading disease.
If you look at the CDC map, right, 97% of the country is in green. There are not very many restrictions. And the CDC scientists determined on Title 42 that it was an appropriate time from a public health point of view to lift the Title 42 restrictions.
But while it's reasonable to drop a COVID emergency power now, the problem is that since March 2020, some 2 million migrants have been turned away under Title 42 authority, and President Biden has no backup plan.
It is a public health imperative, not an immigration policy. We will be implementing our asylum process as it was designed.
The decision comes amid a record migrant surge during Mr. Biden's administration, which is about to get far worse.
In March, an estimated 220,000 migrants crossed the southern border of the United States, which would be a monthly record for at least the past 20 years, and is already much higher than the peak that we saw during the summer months of last year. So we're on pace to see really an unprecedented surge.
The imminent end of Title 42 has triggered a political revolt on both sides. Republicans like Texas Governor Greg Abbott are making their point by busing illegal immigrants to Washington, D.C.
If he's not going to come to the border, we're going to take the border to him.
And while it's an approach not all Republicans agree with,
Governor Abbott is paying to bus them 26 hours on a trip they want to take, instead of busing them 2 miles back across the Mexican border.
Some see it as the only way to raise awareness of the Title 42 issue.
It is the only way that we can sort of grab the attention of the nation and of the federal government and say, meet your responsibilities to control the border.
In the meantime, a growing number of Democrats are also pushing back. Arizona Senator Kyrsten Sinema has told reporters that, quote, plans for the end of Title 42 just aren't adequate. Then there's Joe Manchin.
I don't think that Section 42 should be removed until we have secured borders, period.
A bipartisan group of senators has now introduced a bill to extend the public health order by an extra 6 months, which would give the Biden administration time to announce a replacement policy for Title 42.
They're estimating over 500,000 people a month will be coming across illegally once they drop Title 42 next month.
The Biden administration says that it's going to reduce the backlog of asylum claimants by allowing Department of Homeland Security officers to hear their cases. The problem is these officers are often very lenient in hearing these claims, which means migrants are going to know they have a good chance of being able to enter the United States if they come under this new Biden policy.
So, who wins as a result of the Biden administration's handling of the border? Well, ultimately, the man who instigated the Remain in Mexico policy that requires asylum seekers to wait in Mexico until their claims are heard. Another policy Mr. Biden wants to kill.
I believe Americans deserve a president who will secure the borders of our nation, who will protect our citizens, who will defend our sovereignty, and who will stop the invasion of our country right now.
Yes, the political backlash may force Mr. Biden to continue Title 42, but if he won't go that far, he should at least end his opposition to Remain in Mexico. The alternative is more border chaos and more fuel for the debacle that Democrats are facing in November.